Hey Virgo, welcome to your April 2025 weekly reading. Now it's actually going to be a reading here from April 3rd until the 10th. I know it's a little bit of an odd timeline or time frame, but yeah, I'm a day behind on the videos, so I hope you don't mind. And yeah, I accidentally skipped Cancer, Leo's, and Virgo's video yesterday on accident, so I apologize for that. But let's go ahead and jump in here and let's take a look at your reading. Also too, I want to say if you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, that link is down below in the description. Let's take a look here though, Virgo. Very interesting. Lots going on though this week. I've been saying it in all the reads, but so many transits happening this week. And for the most part, all these transits are positive. And if there's ever a time to really break free from rigidity, or where you have felt just binded to things and stuck, it would be this week. And there is a lot of new energy that's taking place. We just had a solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse in Aries. That was on March 29th. And then we just had Neptune come into Aries on the 30th. So talk about all this new energy that we're stepping into. And the new energy is here, even though we do have Venus, Mercury retrograde. Good thing is Mercury comes direct this week on April 7th. And so things, yeah, it's like we're still figuring some things out, and Mercury and Venus are in Pisces, so it can feel a little bit more confusing than usual, even though Venus is exalted in Pisces, but Mercury is debilitated in Pisces. So just trying to understand things could be a little bit unclear or very abstract, and it's kind of hard to put clear definition to it. But the good thing is Mercury comes direct this week, and then next week we have Venus come direct. And so, but even this week, we got Sun sextile Jupiter, April 6th. Talk about positivity, growth, and expansion, opportunity. And then that Mars sextile Uranus, Mars trine Saturn, Saturn sextile Uranus. Like this, these are good transits to be able to innovate, make changes, but also plan and find discipline and structure, and to become more disciplined and structured, to find like the outlet, the structure, the implementation, the doing. And I feel, and I'm going to go into your reading here in a moment, but Virgo, one thing I get automatically is don't avoid the spotlight this week. I'll explain more. You pulled this second house card. It says resources here. Well, I think this week is going to be a week to where you're focused on your money and your resources. Second house, yes, it deals with our money, our values, our possessions, but it's also the things that support us. So I feel like you're finding better ways in which you can support yourself. That's one of the things that I see here happening for you this week, or there being an emphasis on. Possibly maybe what you want to do with your resources, how you can acquire more resources. Right, because I feel like you have this desire to have more. You pulled this nurturing card. This is the Earth Star chakra. Very interesting, yeah. So this card has a lot to do with nourishing, nurturing. We'll see how that connects here, but again, that connects to the second house as well. Both deal with like the root earth chakra, root chakra, earth chakra. To support yourself, to be able to sustain, but not only sustain, to thrive, to have the things that you need, the things that you want. Let's see here. I think too, one of the things I get a lot for Virgo is I feel like Virgos I read for, or the people that watch me, I don't know, maybe, a specific group of people. I feel like Virgos are helping other people too. Like you're nurturing and helping others. And it's interesting because the second house is like your own resources, but when it comes to nurturing and giving to others, it's like you give away that resource, right? I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's like maybe you do have the resources, or you do have like whatever, the energy, the time to be able to do that. And I get that a lot for you, Virgos. Like you're actually very giving. So you could be finding yourself in a more giving energy this week as well. But I think it's interesting too, because if you're in a more giving energy, I also feel you'll get into a more receiving energy too, to where you'll receive back. You pulled this dolphin card. It says joy, light, flow, compassion. Yeah, and dolphin has a lot to do with cooperation, and you pulled a nurturing card here, which deals with cooperation. And cooperation connects to Venus. Venus is retrograde in your 7th house. 7th house deals with relationships, and Venus deals with relationships. So even though Venus is retrograde, you're finding better ways in which you can cooperate and be able to give and receive in relationships. But also, I think this is you putting the focus on maybe being more light, being more flowy, and being in a more enjoyable energy. And I'm not saying just in relationships. I think it's in all areas here. This looks like a good week. I feel like you'll be in a good energy, a good mood this week. Basically, I feel like you'll be in a good energy here. Because the transits here are really well. And if there's ever a week of joy, it would be the Sun sextile Jupiter on April 6th. Fucking Saturn, that's going to sextile Uranus, Mars sextile Uranus, define the breakthroughs and define the innovational ways forward to get unstuck from rigidity or, these old structures. Right? Venus will trine Mars as well, so that's natural cooperation between wants and needs, giving and taking, reciprocity, exchanging of energies. So it looks good. You have the 7 of Swords here for the overall energy this week. Now, hold up. Don't freak out, because the 7 of Swords is not what you think it is. I think the 7 of Swords is you having to come up with new strategies and tactics. The 7 of Swords is not always, about lying or whatever and deceit, although it could be, just depending on what the cards are, and your reading does not scream that. I think with the 7 of Swords, it's strategies and tactics, trying to figure out how you can be more strategic, how you can develop these newer plans. And it's interesting too, because the 7 of Swords is when you're sort of keeping your plans to yourself. You're sort of strategizing alone, and not in a negative way. It's just more so the 7 of Swords can be where not everybody needs to know your business, right? So it's like, yeah, you're strategizing, right? And maybe you're not revealing all your plans yet because they haven't all come together, right? But you're finding new ways here in which you can implement new plans. You have the 8 of Pentacles in your current energy. This doesn't surprise me. The 8 of Pentacles is Sun in Virgo. So this is one of your cards here, Virgo. I think you're very much in your Virgo energy. I mean, nothing wrong. I actually like Virgos, in my opinion. Like, I know I can crack a lot of jokes about Virgos, but I actually like Virgos. I think you're very much being very work-focused at this time, being very practical, methodical. 8 of Pentacles is mastery as well, so it's like you could be working on your craft or just working in general. 8 of Pentacles just deals with work, right? Your everyday routine and doing what it is that you got to do, right? And doing what it is that also you want to do too. You have the 6 of Wands here in your challenge, and then the Empress is your advice. Yeah, and I feel that 6 of Wands is why I said don't avoid the spotlight. 7 of Swords is when you're keeping things to yourself. Like, you're keeping all everything to yourself. Like, you don't want to reveal it. But the 6 of Wands is this leader energy, and it has a lot to do with connection, cooperation, right, and sharing and expressing. And I pick up here that the challenge is maybe you're not feeling too confident in doing that. So it's like you're kind of 7 of Swords. You feel like you need to strategize, kind of review things, keep looking over things, making it perfect, right? 8 of Pentacles. But no, I actually feel this Empress as your advice is saying here, like, it's time for you to start creating, like, everything that you've been working on, thinking about, strategizing about, refining. 8 of Pentacles. The Empress is creation. It's like giving birth to creation. And I feel this actually will be very enjoyable for you. It'll be work, yeah, but I think it'll be enjoyable with the Empress. But I will say, too, I don't know why my AirPods keep connecting. It's so fucking weird. But I will say, though, I think it's time for you to really share, like, to really connect and to start creating here. Or clarify that. We'll get more on that. You pulled the King of Cups here in the future position. Yep. I get this a lot with Virgos, especially with the 6 of Wands and the Empress being here. a lot of Virgos that watch me are healers, but what I will say is you do have the gift of healing, number one. But the King of Cups is active. It's very active energy. It's love and devotion and motion. So with the Eight of Pentacles is your craft. It's something that you're working on, something you want to dedicate your time and attention to. And the King of Cups says, yeah, like now's the time for you to be purely unconditional, but like bring unconditional love to everything that you're doing when it comes to work and career, and purely devote yourself to something that you love here, whether you're already doing it or if you're about to start doing it. Like King of Cups says, as long as you're coming from the highest spiritual and emotional place with what you're doing, everything else will work out. We have the Six of Swords here in the outcome position. Yeah, I think here with the Six of Swords, you're definitely moving into a better place here. If things have been turbulent, if things have been all over the place, just understand that it's not just you, Virgo. You're not crazy. We just went through the most probably turbulent energy of March and February, I want to say, just confusing energies with all the Pisces, Neptune energy, with the North Node, Mercury. It's been really confusing. The sun being there, it's like we're all being pulled in a new future, and it's just like happening so fast, and it's disorienting, and nothing kind of makes sense, and things are dissolving. And so, but the good thing is that with the sun coming into Aries, it's starting to define new ways forward. Right, then the partial solar eclipse that we had in Aries, Neptune now in Aries, like there's a bunch of new energy that we're all reorienting to where there's clear definition. But yeah, it's a little still confusing with Mercury and Venus retrograde in Pisces. But the Six of Swords being the outcome, it's becoming more and more and more clear. You're coming out of the fog. You have the Nine of Swords here in the position of something you're unaware of that you need to be aware of here. Stress. I pick up some stress. Never knew a Virgo who wasn't stressed. I'm just kidding. Don't even lie though, Virgo. Y'all can be stressing about the little things. We'll clarify that Nine of Swords. Get more on that. Clarify the Seven of Swords for the overall energy for Virgo, please. You pulled the Page of Wands here. If you have Leo placements, I'd watch the Leo read. I think here the Seven of Swords, again, Page of Wands it's interesting because the Seven of Swords, Nine of Swords, the Seven of Swords and the Nine of Swords is, and the Eight of Pentacles would be the stress, this worry about having to, like, wanting to get it perfect. So it's like this constant refining and developing of something and never feeling like it's ready. But maybe it's not. Maybe you do need time, right? So I'm not saying, you know where you're at with that. But the Page of Wands is saying here, though, for you to take the initiative. The Page of Wands tends to start and ask questions later. Like, it doesn't need to have everything figured out. It just acts off passion. Like, of course, be smart, right? But it's like whenever you're feeling inspired and divinely led to start, don't second guess yourself, Nine of Swords, or feel like it has to be perfect. It's just, it'll come together when you start. Clarify the Eight of Pentacles in your current energy. You pulled the Queen of Swords here. I do feel like you're getting a clear understanding of what you're doing, what you're refining, what you're working on here. So the plans are coming along. Clarify the Six of Wands in your challenge. You have the Four of Pentacles here, and then clarify the Empress as the advice. You pulled the Eight of Pentacles here. Yep. I think one thing that you're aiming for is like you want success. Like you want something to be successful. Six of Wands, Four of Pentacles. It's like, yeah. It's like you want something to be successful. Like you want to stand out in a way. It's like you, or at least you want to be recognized, or at least you want some type of success here for yourself that you're ideally envisioning for yourself. And your advice simply is just to start working on it. The Empress, Eight of Pentacles. And this is another interesting point too, because it's not just like, oh, just keep working on it. I get it. Like whenever you're working on things, Eight of Pentacles is sometimes it's like it's not always fun doing the work. Like people think that the Empress is just like, yeah, abundance and it's fun all the time. It's like, no, like the Empress shows us that life, when we create things, it can be hard work, but the hard work is worth it. But we have to do the work though. Like sometimes creation is painful. Right, or it's very, it takes a lot from us. but we produce beautiful things from doing it. So that is sort of the advice here. Clarify the King of Cups in the future. You have the Four Wands here. Yep. I feel like what you produce or how things come together will be something that you'll celebrate. I think you'll be happy about it. Four Wands is a 4, and 4s in the tarot represent concrete manifestation. So the King of Cups will be something here that I feel with the 4 of Cups that you'll emotionally be happy about. But I do feel here too that the work here that you're doing, your passion for it will ripple out and connect to others. 4 Wands is being able to share what you have created that you're proud of, that you're happy about, and other people partake in that and they get something from it. Clarify the 6 of Swords in the outcome. You have the 5 of Cups here, and I do see you moving. If you've been kind of dealing with like these underlying emotional challenges, 6 of Swords is a really good card after the 5 of Cups because it's coming out of the turbulent waters. So I see you being able to move on and disconnect from the emotional challenges and struggles here. Finding a better way forward. Clarify the 9 of Swords. You pulled the 3 of Wands here. This is in the position of something you're unaware of that you need to be aware of. So you stressing on whether or not if the work that you're going to be doing and what you're working on, whether or not your ships will come in, whether or not you'll be successful, or things will continue to grow and expand, or even if you'll be able to continue the growth and the expansion. And I feel like that could be like where a lot of your stress is, or what you're worried about. And that's interesting why the 8 of Pentacles and the Empress is your advice, because it is the furthering of the work that we have to constantly do. And that, yeah, like maybe it's like, of course, if you stop, well then, yeah, then the momentum stops. But once you have momentum, 6 of Wands, it's easier to stay in momentum, like to stay in that momentum. But it is first about building the momentum. So that's what I got for you, Virgo, in your reading. We'll leave your reading here. I appreciate you for watching. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can. That link is down below in the description. Again, my readings are on sale. Any question you have, you need direction or confirmation, guidance, I'm definitely here for you. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And otherwise than that, subscribe, of course, if you haven't, and I'll see you later. Bye, Virgo.